Everyone talks about success, but no one talks about the moment life knocks you so hard that you find yourself staring at the ground, afraid to get up again. No one talks about the fear of starting over and how heavy it feels to rebuild when you're already tired. There's a moment in every person's life, a moment where everything they planned falls apart. The job they trusted, the relationship they thought would last, the dream that once felt unshakable, gone, just like that. And suddenly you're standing there with empty hands, wondering, how do I do this again? How do I restart when I barely survived the first time? And here's the truth. Starting again isn't just difficult, it's terrifying. Because deep down, you remember the effort it took. You remember the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the heartbreak, the disappointments. You remember how hard you worked and how quickly it all slipped away. And now your mind whispers, what if I fail again? What if I'm not strong enough this time? What if the world moves forward while I stay stuck? But listen carefully. The fear you're feeling, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you care. It's a sign that something inside you still wants to rise, even if you don't feel ready yet. Because starting again is not the courage to jump. It's the courage to stand back up. People think rebuilding is about motivation. It's not. It's about honesty. Facing yourself in the mirror and admitting, yes, I'm scared, but I'm not done. You see, every time life breaks you, it also hands you something quietly, a deeper version of yourself, a wiser version, a version with scars, but also with understanding. When you failed the first time, you were building blindly. You didn't know what to expect. You were learning as you went. But now you're building with awareness, with experience, with a blueprint written in pain, lessons, and growth. This is why starting again, even if it feels slow, even if it feels humiliating, even if it feels like everyone else is ahead, is not a setback. It's a rebirth. We don't talk enough about the silent fear people carry. Fear of wasting more time, fear of more heartbreak, fear of disappointing themselves again. But here's the part. No one tells you. The second attempt is always stronger. Not because it's easier, but because this time you're building with your eyes open. You know what to avoid. You know what to protect. You know what truly matters. The truth is, life doesn't punish you by pushing you backwards. Life reveals you. It strips away what wasn't meant for your future. It clears the path you were too afraid to walk. It forces you to start again, not because you failed, but because you outgrew the old version of your life. Think about the people you admire, the ones you consider strong, successful, unshakable. Every single one of them has a moment they don't talk about, a moment where they had to rebuild from nothing, a moment where the world did not clap, where no one believed in them, where the fear was louder than their hope. But they started anyway, not because they knew they would win, but because they refused to quit on themselves. You are standing at the same doorway right now, and maybe you feel confused, maybe you feel behind, maybe you feel like you're too old, or too tired, or too broken. But listen closely. The fear you're feeling right now is proof that your story is not over. It's proof that there is more waiting for you. Bigger, deeper, stronger things that the old version of you wasn't ready for. You don't need to rush. You don't need to pretend to be confident. You just need to take the first step, even if your hands are shaking. Because rebuilding your life is not about speed, it's about direction. Some days you'll move fast. Some days you'll barely move at all. Some days you'll fall back into old fears. But every tiny step forward, every moment you refuse to give up, is a victory. Starting again is not about chasing who you used to be. It's about becoming someone new, someone shaped by storms, but not defined by them. And the beautiful part, When you restart your life with intention, you don't return to zero. You return stronger. You return wiser. You return aware of what you will no longer tolerate. The world might not see your progress right now. They don't see the nights where you're trying to convince yourself that you still deserve good things. They don't see the silent battles you're fighting. They don't see the courage it takes just to keep going. But one day, they will. One day they'll look at you and say, "You changed, you grew, you became someone new," and they'll think it happened overnight. But you'll remember the truth. You'll remember the fear and how you walked through it, one quiet step at a time. So here's the message you need to hear. You are allowed to start again. You are allowed to rebuild your life from the ground up. You are allowed to walk away from what broke you. You are allowed to craft a future that feels right for your soul, and you don't need permission. Not from the world, not from your past, not even from your fear. You only need the courage to begin, because somewhere in the middle of rebuilding, you will find yourself again. Not the version that was hurt, not the version that was lost, but the version that was meant to rise. The fear of starting again is real, but so is your ability to create a life that's worth the pain of rebuilding. And when you finally stand on the other side of this chapter, you will look back and realize something powerful. Starting again didn't break you. It freed you.